We're going live now. All right, all right. Let's see. All right. Hey guys, hey guys, hey, it's your girl Raquel May David. And I brought to you today my amazing mentor in media, darling. I have Lachelle Adkins, better known as America's Supermom. And if y'all don't know what we get into, I am the hot topic chick in the Zandra TV universe. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep everybody up to date with things that's going on out there in the streets. Okay. Okay. And we've done this before. I don't know if you guys remember,
Yes.
but we did this before when we were talking about Joy Ann Reid being taken
Mm-hmm.
off of the air. And we did it as a wonderful collaborative. And I got a lot of positive feedback about the conversation. Now, if you guys are watching, this is streaming across all platforms. Okay. So I want to make sure that we're dipping and doing. You're good over there, right? I
Yeah,
want to make
I'm
sure
good.
you're
I'm streaming.
okay. Okay. Let me. It looks like this stream was deleted. Try creating a new one. Hang on one second, y'all, because I need to make sure that Facebook is Facebooking.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of this technology, and
What?
things
'Cause
change all the time.
It's literally trying my life today, y'all. Okay.
Hmm.
So I think we're now officially out. If we're not live on Facebook, y'all, we gonna have to drop it like it's hot on the replay. I'll download this, I'll get it out to y'all. But on all the other streaming platforms, we are here. Again, the ones that we can connect to. Okay. So
Hmm.
be a blessing. Won't you do it? Share while you guys are watching. Definitely engage in the comment. If you guys are replay gang, drop replay so that we know that you're watching it on the replay. If you guys are watching it live, definitely join the conversation because this conversation is going to be epic. If you guys did not see, okay, we created a wonderful hot topic situation. Uh Look, I love starting problems. So if y'all do not know, I'm your girl Raquel May David. My goal has been to help people become a beast in these credit streets as well as these media streets. And I have an amazing, six-figure credit repair company that I have for 21 years. And about a year ago, I decided that I was smart enough to go ahead and start a TV show because somebody came up to me and said, "Girl, do you want to go ahead and have one?" And I said, "Well, if you put me on TV, why not?" And now I am the number one TV show on business on our network. And I'm super duper excited. And I could not have done it with anyone without the help of some amazing Black women that have literally lifted me up and carried me. And one of them is Lachelle. Okay. Now, I'm gonna briefly introduce her as to how I know her, but I want her to definitely say what's up with her people. But I have to give her her flowers because when I came into the industry, she was well seasoned. Okay. And in her media, in her collaborative mindset, like I've done collaborations before, but how she helped me reconstruct and refigure how I saw collaboration and what the benefits of it should have been on both ends was so impactful. And maybe she's so good at this because of the fact that she's a mom. But I definitely am so I'm so grateful to
Hmm.
have her not just say yes to come on this show, but now this is going to be our segment. So once a month, we are going to dissect hot topics for you guys. And we're going to give our spin on different strategies that these people may be taking or that they should take, and how you as a business owner should be able to leverage this if something like this happened to you. Again,
Hmm.
hopefully y'all don't have these scandals, but if you do and you watch our stuff, you'll know how to pivot if that happens. So Lachelle, can you introduce everyone to my community that may not know you,
Yes.
as well as tell your fans and your followers, hey.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for having me on. I feel honored to even be asked. I am seeing that one of our friends from Indiana is on, Pierre. Hey, Pierre.
Hey
He
Pierre.
is friends with my husband. And, I think it's so amazing to be having this conversation because we have scandal with me and my husband. We
What?
were a hot topic before we got married, so we can maybe get into that if we have time. But it's on one of my episodes for the first season of Real Life Without Excuses. But I'm known as America's Supermom because my husband and I have 15 children. And I went through a period of depression for 13 years and 3 hospitalizations. And not only am I helping people with their marketing and media, but it's also with their mental health. I like to help business owners with strategies so that they can leverage their networks and people that they know instead of trying to be all things to all people, seeking validation outside of themselves, and a number of things that I struggle with. I give them strategies and help them create systems so they don't have to fall into that same trap that I did. So I'm glad to be here today and looking forward to the conversation.
Hey, come on, let's get into it. I'm so excited. So, before we dive in, I do want to go ahead and give a brand spotlight to a business that we are definitely highlighting today. If you guys would like to submit your business for spotlight,
Mhm.
definitely slide into my DM, y'all. Don't be shy, okay? Yes, there is an investment, but listen, okay, exposure is something that you have to invest in your business on, and we want to make sure that your business gets the reach that it has. And as a person who has over 1.7 million views across all platforms, the investment is safe over here, darling. Okay, we gonna get eyes on your stuff. Okay, let's talk about it. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to a company that I personally use. And if you listen now, I listen, Mama Lachelle, let me tell you about this company. Okay.
Okay.
I first of all, I love the owner. Her name is Herma Davis. She is so amazing. But let me tell you why I love this particular company. So in the credit space, a lot of times I'm dealing with people when they're just realizing that they need to get their credit together, right? So
Hmm.
I originally met her because I was trying to do, sometimes there's like a win for my client. I wanted to gift them something, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm very strategic on my gift giving. Like, I
Hmm.
want you to have it, and it's not like just another pen or just, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be something that you literally can use. So, a couple of my clients that I had that kind of came with me, one of the things that I did give them when I got with her was I was getting a lot of home buyers. So, like, I wanted to get home buyer gifts that would make it smell good, make it look good,
Hmm.
make them feel good. So, she curates packages for gift giving. So you don't
Oh.
have to worry about buying this, buying that. Does that work? And one of the things that another thing that I loved about working with her was when I switched, well, before I left credit, I had a couple of clients who had like cancer and things of that nature. She put
Mm.
together a whole cancer care basket. Or if it was a
Oh.
grief situation, she put together a grief basket and she would send it to your clients, your friends, your family. So if you are trying to do the gift giving, you're not a good shopper. Guess what? Roshi Essentials is here for you, boo boo. Now
Love
that I'm
it.
in the credits, now that I'm in the media space, I got my boxes, my Google boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. And because of you, okay, so y'all don't know, I be stealing. I be stealing. Okay. I have no problem saying I be stealing. So Mama Lachelle, when I came on her episode, she gave me a container with a mustard seed on it.
Hmm.
So I actually have her help me put my boxes together, and I always have the mustard seed. But
Oh.
like I have an award that goes in a box or whatever. So she gives me all the smell good. She gives me the scents, the candles. She puts the boxes together. I literally ship my boxes to her. So again, if you're in business and you like to do gifting, my box has got my face on it because I need them to know it came from me. Okay. I want you to open it. Hello. Okay. It's me.
I love it. It's good
Okay.
marketing.
So definitely, guys, if you are looking to find a brand or a company that can help you be able to gift to your clients and you don't have to worry about if the gift is going to be useful or not, definitely check out Roshi Essentials. She is amazing, 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 hands down. Her website is below. Click it or above, depending on what platform you're on. Okay, just go ahead and visit my friend. She know
I
what she
love
doing.
it. And that's
Okay,
perfect for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming
it's
up.
around the corner, and I know
Yeah.
y'all ain't shop. Let's talk. I
Yeah.
know y'all didn't shop Cause I got a good old husband up here and he ain't shot for me at all. He coming here talking about what you doing. No, 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 no. Okay, so if you didn't shop and you're like, listen, I definitely need some support. Y'all stop playing around in these streets. Just click the link, go to Roshi's Essentials, and grab your. Let's just tell her what your budget is. And when I say she works
Exactly.
any budget, she really does. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm a gift giver. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a
Mhm.
true gift giver. And when it comes to Christmas time, I don't buy like the little, when my kids were young, I used to buy like the colognes and the socks. Every year my
Mhm.
kids get socks. Let me just be clear. I'm still that parent. Like
Mhm.
my oldest is 21. In the gift bag, it's always socks and drawers because I don't believe them. I do not believe that they have proper drawers or matching socks. Okay. But I stopped buying colognes and different things like that. But I love that Roshi and she does name brand stuff. So you can get like,
Mhm.
you don't have to just get not, generic or non-name brand things. It'll definitely, be an option that you can collect. So with that being said, y'all, we gonna dive in and we gonna talk about today's conversation. So if you guys are just tuning in, the conversation hot topic is breakups, backlash, and branding. Wait a minute. Why do we just get another guest on the show? Y'all see, hold on, y'all. So y'all don't know, I'm really, really messy on the network in the sense of I keep everybody on their toes. I be bothering everybody. And not only do I bother everyone, I bother the network owner. Okay. So I sent a message to my network owner and I was like, hi, producers. I'm having a hot topic today. I'm inviting Lachelle. Would you guys like to come on and have this hot topic discussion with me? And I tagged our network owner because I'm that bold. Okay. I'm the oldest child of a teen mom. Y'all just gonna have to, if y'all don't know my story, please watch. I'm on Real Lives. I'm on real life, no excuses. Okay. And I really tell my story. So just in case y'all missed it, I'm gonna drop that link too because y'all need to go ahead and watch my episode in the name of Jesus. Okay. Go ahead and watch her show, but make sure you watch my episode too because I need the credit in the name of Jesus. Okay. So I text my network owner and I was like, hey, do you think you can come on? If you can, it's okay. Just watch. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I knew she was gonna come on if her hair was done and her lashes was ready, honey, she's gonna be here. Okay. Now y'all don't worry about the fact that my camera's going in and going out. Just know I'm still here. Okay.
Right.
We had storms, so I'm talent. I'm talent. I don't fix cameras. Sidebar, Kenny, come to my house and fix my camera, please. I don't know what to do. Okay. So without any further ado, I want to say thank you to Miss Zandra Evans for
Whatever.
the club, which is still in business. If you
Yeah.
guys have not yet, definitely check out zandratv.com. Okay. Download the app. We are on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and we all of our shows stream on over 124 different platforms. But I'm gonna let the good lady tell it. Go ahead, Miss Z.
I ain't
What
really
would you
got nothing to tell. Look here, I'm raggedy today. I'm raggedy, but sometimes raggedy is good. You raggedy could be the best thing that ever happened to somebody listening to me today. That's what I got to say because I'm raggedy. I am. Look, I'm in my exercise clothes. I'm hanging out, and yes, we are a major television network, and we really focus on edutainment, making sure that we're educating people and helping people to navigate their lives more effectively. And of course, all of y'all shows do that. And that is just purely a blessing to be able to do that. And yeah, we got a lot of reach. 800 million is
say it
our reach.
again?
But I want to say, but last year we hit 10.2 million viewership. And so that's awesome. The year before that was 8.3. So we're growing exponentially for a privately owned network. We're excited. And we got some major players like Raquel May David and Lachelle Adkins, aka America's Supermom.
Super
Not you.
mom.
You,
Let's
you could be
go.
local, you could be local, you could be national, but when you become America,
And she
Supermom,
really
you're
is.
the best.
She
So
really
she the
is
best.
amazing.
She the best
Yeah.
of the best, y'all. Yeah.
So if y'all don't know, I have my Zandra TV cup. Okay. So because we are sipping tea.
No.
Okay, so if y'all
Yes,
are easily offended, please get off my live. I'm gonna tell you, if y'all just go ahead and go, okay? Because I'm gonna be starting trouble. I'm the baby of the group. My job is to start trouble and chaos, okay? But my goal is to speak to these wonderful experts, and I'm gonna drop my 2 cents on what I think a strategic next step should be for these scandals that we are going to be covering on today. So the first couple up on the makeup to breakup road, or nope, I guess they may have made up before, but they officially broken up now, is Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson. So I already spoke to Mama Lachelle and she said, I don't know these people. Is that what you said? What did you say? I'm going to let the people hear it. What you said.
That was it. I mean, I don't know. I do hear about them through my kids, but I don't really watch the news and things like that. But the names are familiar, so that I will say.
The names are familiar. Okay, what
Yes.
about you, Ms. D? Do you know these wonderful people? Do you know them?
I just came. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the backstory. That's okay. I'm gonna give you the backstory because I want you to be involved in this relationship. Because apparently social media want us all involved. So we got to be involved and talk about it. Okay. So Megan Thee Stallion is an amazing African American award-winning musician. Okay. Now she might be known from some amazing albums, but what I love about Meg, and yes, I am biased, so don't come on here talking about Raquel while you talking. I'm biased. Okay. I love Megan. Okay. She lost her mom when she started at the height of her career. There was a lot of things that kind of happened. And one of the things that happened to her was an incident with Tory Lanez, who's another musician, where an altercation happened. And unfortunately, when that altercation happened, she ended up with bullets in her feet, or fragments of bullets in her feet. Tory Lanez subsequently went to Tory Lanez subsequently went to prison. Again, a lot of people argue about why he's there, but long story short, she had a lot of things that were going on during the fact that her mom passed away. She's the only child. She graduated from college. She became a mega superstar in the process. And her number one thing that everyone talks about is her having hot girl summer. Okay. She then met Klay, who is a basketball star, who my husband and I had a altercation on IG. If y'all didn't see it, y'all need to go back and watch it, okay? Because he came up in this office. I was minding my good business. I was minding my good Black-owned business. And when I was talking about it, I was like, I feel that this is I was talking to it with my 21-year-old. My husband gonna pull up in here and talk about, no, you know who Klay is. I was like, no, I don't know who Klay is. Okay. And the vast majority of people who don't watch basketball don't know who Klay is. So he gonna come and tell me Klay plays with Steph Curry. Now I know me some Steph. Okay. I don't watch basketball, but I know me little light-skinned Steph. I know who he is. Okay. I know him. I know his wife Aisha. I know the babies. Okay. I still didn't know Klay, which is my point that I was making to my husband, was that Klay getting with Meg was a good look for him because it brought him eyes that don't necessarily know who he was. Okay. Now, since neither one of y'all know who these people are, what we're going to have the conversation about is, once the relationship broke up, Meg went online and Meg basically vocalized the end of the relationship and then basically stated that he was not necessarily, he didn't always treat her well, and that the reason that they separated was due to infidelity in the relationship. Fast forward, what's happening right now in the media is people have chosen a side, but not only have they chosen a side, they have decided to bash one side. So the women naturally are going after Klay for being a cheater, like, oh, he cheated, da 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 da. But the men are bashing Megan and saying that Megan is not valuable, right? Because she represents, in my opinion, she is the new age Little Kim. That's how they see her. And I know everybody know Lil Kim, okay, back in the day. All right. She the Foxy Brown, she the Little Kim of this current era. So because of that, people are trying to bash her and say she wasn't really worth his time, and that there's no media credit that Klay would have gained by dating Megan, but Megan did gain benefits by dating Klay because he's so reserved, he's a basketball player, and things of that nature. Now, I don't agree, but first question that's going to go out is, how do you guys feel when celebrities have breakups and the world then says, I'm going to jump on a bandwagon and I'm going to go bash whichever party? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I think that it's definitely a representation of real life, whether it's a celebrity or not. You have this happen in everyday neighborhoods, when couples go through divorce and they are closely connected with school and different things like that. And then you got to excuse this background noise. I do have 15 kids. So one of them's going out the door talking like she's on stage. Okay. But anyway, I feel like, you're going to have that. The important thing, for me, when it comes to having your brand, is recognizing that you are serving a client base that will have that situation where they feel like they will be choosing sides, or, you are feeling like you have to please different people and things like that. And so this is why it's important to organically build your brand to where you're not moved by other people's opinions. Your brand will stand the test of time, regardless of what other people say or believe. That's really important. And I think a lot of people don't think about that in the beginning. They are so focused on pleasing the audiences that they serve that when things go on with them, they don't have anything really to fall back on. There's no strong foundation. And, you can really get stressed out. It can impact your mental health and everything. I'm just speaking from experience just with my personal life. Mm-hmm. So I believe that this is something that's inevitable with anything. People are always going to complain. I can't please all my kids. One of them always has a different version of the same thing that happened. But somebody
telephone.
Yeah. So I believe that the way to counter that is to be strong with your brand, because, if people decide that they want to choose, then you're easily able to let them go and know that they're just not the people for you. That's my thought.
That's a good answer. I got something to say. I mean, if you want, now here's the deal. Here's the real deal, Holyfield. I don't think, I think about, I'm going to tell you, but the person I always think about in the media, wealthy, has been in so many different movies. Denzel Washington.
Come on.
Never in your life. Come on now. You have never in your life heard nothing about his wife, about we kind of, know his kids went to school in Georgia. But my point I'm making is this. You have to choose how you want to show up and what you're willing to share on social platforms. We didn't got too comfortable. Everybody don't need to know. You don't need to know everything about my personal life. That ain't got nothing to do with my brand. My brand is Zandra Evans. Mm-hmm. It ain't because I'm embarrassed. I'm my grandkids, my kid. I don't post that. It's not for that. Mm-hmm. I choose to keep my life separate from my brand. The brand, I'm Zandra TV is the brand. I'm Zandra Evans, and I stay with that. So to me, if you opt to be, you just want everything, you want everybody to know everything, everywhere you're going, what you're doing, well then what's going to happen? You're going to get into scandals, and then people going to have to choose sides. And you're going to choose sides based on what you see in this thing and what people are saying over here. Who knows the truth? And nothing but the truth. So help me God. So that's my own take on it. If you make the stands that you want to be that public in the media about everything going on in your life, then you're going to have this dilemma sooner or later. And I made a decision 8 years ago, and I ain't changed.
But you don't do that. I think it's okay. So as the person, let me add my 2 cents in. As the person who okay, so I do think that back in the day, when I say back in the day, like me growing up, I remember loving like Busta Rhymes. He was gonna be my husband, right? That was gonna be my husband. We was gonna go together as soon as I turned 18. He was gonna marry me. He was gonna leave. I'm so sorry, wife. I don't want you to leave him. This was just me being a child. In my mind, it worked this way. Y'all wasn't even gonna be together no more. So he was gonna be available to me, right? I didn't know who he was. You know, we grew up
Mhm.
and there was a fandom in, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, who is this person? And
Yeah.
you then curated in your mind who that person was, what that person does. However, because we live in a consumed culture now, I think that it is very hard that people are trying to find that balance of how much do I share and how much is considered oversharing to still be able to connect, because now we're in the connection era. I need to know what Zandra ate today for me to purchase from Zandra. I need to follow Zandra's like I need to see her get ready with me. I need to see Lachelle's, planning the wedding with her daughter. Like I need to see all of that so I can feel like I'm with her. Where back in the day, we didn't know nothing about Michael Jackson except for when he got that ranch, when he got that Neverland. You get what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
everybody still bought. When he moonwalked across across the stage, we think about the fact that we didn't know anything about him, but when he got on stage, he stood for 2 minutes, said nothing, stared off. And that was the most watched at that time, Super Bowl, right?
Mhm.
Back then that was plausible, but in the era of connectivity, and this is just my personal opinion, I'm going to pose this question to you because
Mhm.
my personal opinion with this relationship, a lot of people in social media thought that it was not a real relationship. They thought that Megan got with Klay to give the soft side to her so that she didn't look as fast as she was looking, and that Klay got with Megan so that he could then bring his what do you call it, you know how you have those people that are recluse, they don't really come out, they don't really show
Right.
themselves. He was
Introvert.
very introvert, he was very much an
Mhm.
introvert. And when he got with her, he then, she started showing more of him and
Mhm.
expressing stuff. And the argument that is currently being posed is that a lot of people feel like Klay benefited no way about this relationship. So I like to give stats, okay? Since this relationship has been announced, that it's the breakup has happened. Number one, when the relationship got announced, Klay Thompson ended up in the media 100% more times than previously, right? Like he got picked up in the feed, he was in the chat because everyone talks about Megan anyway, because she's in a different demographic. When you're a
Mhm.
rapper, think about the Cardi B's, think about the Nicki Minaj's. When you're that level of celebrity, you stay in the feed, right? A lot.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Klay was now in a new level of exposure, right?
Mhm.
That's one. Now that the breakup has happened, people have now taken his everyday post that he was making anyway and have now added their own talking points to it. Oh, this is when he's talking about Megan. When you go and watch the actual post, he's saying nothing about Megan. He's talking about going golfing, seeing this person, right? Going on his boat. But now people are taking his content that, again, only people who were like in the basketball world really knew about. Now he's on, the Shade Room, he's on Neighborhood Talk, right? He's on all of these platforms. And my question would be, do you think that if you connect with a celebrity or in certain relationships when people pair up, that there is a spin that happens on their reach or on their level of popularity because of that connection or because of the breakup?
Definitely. I look at Taylor Swift. My
Come on.
daughter was a Taylor Swift fan way back in the day.
Mhm.
And what she used to do was have slumber parties with her fans. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's a situation where you know where to give your access to. So you mentioned like what you're eating or, your playlist, maybe what you're playing, where you're working out at. People still do that, but they do that strategically to people that are in their circle.
Okay.
So, this is where it comes to memberships or subscriptions, where they get more information around what they are doing on a daily basis. And that base that you create really is a great springboard for you to move forward. I mean, now, if we look at Taylor Swift, she's actually, her marketing plan is taught in colleges. Okay, because they talk about the Swift effect. Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's
she
true.
is actually just gotten way more leverage. I mean, I think she was the first one who released her album with Papa John's. I mean, she does so many things that are non-traditional, because she has such a strong base of knowing who her audience is, and the way that she communicates with them and keeps them abreast of what's going on. So I think it really depends on your industry and your relationship that you cultivate. But I think this is also an important point about people's brand. Sometimes we can get caught up with feeling like, oh, I need more followers or I need more views and things like that. But you're ignoring the people that are already supporting you, because it's not
Mm.
really about 1,000 views and all this different stuff. It's about how are you maintaining those relationships? What are you doing? When it comes to us with Zandra TV Network, for example, we are increasing our viewership, but it's up to us to communicate with those viewers and say, hey, what is it that you want to see more of? Now we've got new content that's coming out. I could go on, but I'm going to give some time for Sandra, because, marketing is my thing. But go ahead,
Well,
Sandra.
we're gonna dive into that in a second, because I know Miss Z has to leave us shortly. Miss Z, go ahead. What is your take on it?
Oh no, I absolutely think I absolutely think alignment is critical, and how you align and how you position. But this particular situation that you're talking about, I don't think I'm well versed on
Well
it
versed.
enough to say that I don't believe that the guy had an inkling that it was going to bring him more views and people were going to start following it.
See,
I don't think
I like the
I don't.
honesty of it.
No, I really don't think so. I
Okay.
don't. I think
Okay.
it's happenstance. I think it's no different than YouTube. Back in the day, if you got 1 million people, when you went viral, you wasn't even trying to. You didn't even know.
Didn't even.
You be
Okay.
like,
So
I mean,
so
I look at.
I see that.
No, because it happened in my own family. I
Got
ain't gonna
it.
tell the whole story, but just flat out got to do one thing, hit the bong, and the doggone video went viral. It was not planned. Didn't
Not
nobody think
okay.
about it. They wasn't
Okay.
trying to do it. So see, that's I mean, when you could talk about strategic
Or
or
happenstance.
happenstance.
Got it. I like the way.
I don't. So happenstance, getting more following. Is it real following? Is it organic, or is it just for the time frame? So
Mm.
that's how I see it. I see that you can be strategic about what you're doing,
Or
and
it could fall in your
really
lap.
going after it, or it is happenstance. And by the way, it don't make no difference if it's happenstance or strategic. Ain't nobody going around going, "When I was that strategic," they just saying, "Okay, it happened." What I would challenge you to say, look 6 to 8 months from today, and if you
How did
see
he
that
leverage it?
same volume and the same people following and saying something, let me know, because that's nothing other than
Ooh.
a moment in time. It is not sustainable. So that's where I'm at.
I
I
like
want to
that.
pick
Look,
up on
mic
that
drop.
too, because I actually, I was part of a campaign that we did last week for kindness. And the first post that I made about kindness was for Chick-fil-A. So I just posted it because my son wanted to upsize his drink and they did it for free. And
Yeah.
Okay.
so I posted it and everything, and I got 20,000 impressions. My numbers were up all week. And I looked and I was like, well, what is going on? I was thinking it was all the different things we were doing,
That you're doing.
but it
And
was
it was
that
Chick-fil-A.
post on
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. I
There you
tagged
go.
them and the numbers went up.
Yeah.
So I say, you never know. I could have just did a normal post and not tagged them, but I believe in tagging everybody.
Listen, I'm a queen.
So as a result,
if you're not gonna promote it, I'm gonna tag you in it. How
Don't,
about that?
because then by default you gonna see me.
This for real.
exactly.
It's so funny because I literally had a conversation with my sister because my sister ended up applying for a giveaway with Black Girl Vitamins or something, and she ended up winning the giveaway and getting to go on Sherry Shepherd's show. I said, you better. She did the whole thing about Black Girl thing, but she's at the Sherry Shepherd show, so you see all the behind. I said, girl, you better go back to that thing, tag Sherry Shepherd and Black Girl Vitamins, because now you're getting into algorithms of both. She was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Tag collaborations. Yeah. I like your viewpoint. My husband said the same thing to you, kind of like he doesn't. Well, no. My husband's stance was he did not feel like Klay needed anything. But then he said, how could he leverage it? So we're going to dive into how you can leverage when happenstance happens to you. But thank you for stopping by, Ms. Z. I know you got appointments. Pull back up to the club with the Steeler missing later. Thank you.
You know what? I may not know who and what, but I sure got something to add. I always have something to add.
Indeed.
Because it's a different perspective, and I think having different perspectives is a good thing, and getting people to really think much more thoughtful about this whole thing of social real estate, because it's much more than social real estate. It's digital landscape. We're in a digital landscape where social real estate is just one piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Right. So really be thinking about how you do that. So I thank you for letting me say anything. This has been cool, y'all. I love y'all both. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
Love you too. Bye. Work out for me, girl.
Look.
I need to
I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Receipt. Let me go ahead and send this message that we received it. Okay, so given that stance, okay. When something like this happens, how do you think you should pivot on either sides of the pendulum? So let's start off with the dragation of my Megan Thee Stallion. How do you think she can recover or spin in order to kind of like get through what's happening right now and then come out on the other side as the queen she is?
Yeah, I think the first thing is really knowing who you are and where you stand. That's what's most important. Sometimes we try to focus on damage control first before we even have ourselves together. So I can only use my own experience. I had mentioned in the beginning.
Let's talk about it. I'm ready. Let me get my tea.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, so what happened was me and my husband, we were in college when we got together. We had our first daughter before we got married. And so when I was pregnant with her, my mom was like, oh my gosh, you need to wait till you get out of school. You shouldn't be having kids. She wanted me to have an abortion. I was like, absolutely not. So she pretty much cut me off because she was paying. I was the only child. She was paying for my schooling. So I had to get on public assistance and all this stuff, but I had made up my mind. That's what I wanted to do. Well, my husband and I had planned to get married before I got pregnant. So when we got pregnant, she just had her friends talking to her. It was just a whole bunch of noise, messiness. And he didn't know if he wanted to get married. And I was like, look, if you don't want to get married, this is fine. I'm having this baby. And I don't want you to feel like you have to marry me. I want you to marry me because you want to. So needless to say, we went our separate ways. And he would take the baby, watch her during class, because I was still in school. Well, we broke up. He was watching her back and forth. Well, October of my daughter was, only a few months old. She was born in July. So he was out in the streets. Everybody, oh, I saw him at the club. He was a Kappa, telling me everything. Well, anyway, he comes. Oh,
he a Kappa. He looked like he get in trouble. Yeah. I met him in person. He looked like he get in trouble. I was wondering, you the good girl, and because that's what it looked like. I want to let everybody. That's what it looked. Her husband fine, y'all. She cute, but her husband looked like he still get in trouble today. You hear me? Okay, so, I know because I married one. He looked like he get in trouble right now. He at work.
It's true. So anyway, he proposed to me in October. 2 weeks after he proposed, we found out that somebody else was pregnant. So it was a hard role to I prayed about it and everything. Long story short, felt that God told me that, this was the person I was supposed to be with. Go ahead and go with it. Talked to the young lady, she called me and everything was fine. We even actually have a episode on my first season talking to people about, how do you recover from something like that? Because when we got married, she was supposed to have the baby in July, but he was born premature and he has cerebral palsy. And, she always had custody of him. And we never really were at a point because of his special needs to where he had visitation or anything like that. So the kids have always known about him. We have collaborated on charity events regarding cerebral palsy in Indianapolis, where he lives. But it was a whole thing, people knowing that she was expecting when we were actually getting married. We got married in January. So she still was carrying the baby and just all that stuff. So I think when it comes to somebody feeling like they always have an opinion about something that you're going through, that it's important for you to know where you stand because somebody's going to always have an opinion. At the time, the only person I really valued their input was my mom. So I told her, before I got married, so she wouldn't think, oh my gosh, this is coming out afterwards. And everybody
Right.
else, I just didn't care. I was
Right.
like, you know what? I don't care about these people. They ain't paying my bills. They're not doing any of that. And so over time, it has been a very good teachable moment for us to talk to people around resiliency and still moving forward in spite of mistakes that you make and even ministering to our kids and things like that.
That is so cool. I think
Hmm.
that so one of the things that you touch on that I think is very important for business owners on a whole, and especially if we're using and leveraging social media, is like, I'm not trying to be funny. This is something that I've noticed personally, is
Hmm.
that they love you when you're the underdog. When you become established and you're out there, that love kind of fades, right? And to
Hmm.
me, I feel like social media is very conditional love. Okay. And the number one example I'm going to use is Will Smith when he
Hmm.
slapped Chris Rock. It was an emotional situation. Do I agree that he should have done it? Absolutely not. Do I feel like he was justified, like in himself, he was justifying why he did what he did. And the whole world who used to love him, like, literally acted like, I remember speaking to like one of my friends and they were like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed. I'm never going to watch another show." I said, "I never would have expected that from him." I was like, "You never expect him to be a person? You never expected him to have feelings?" I said, "Have you as a person ever done something that was out of your character? Should that define who you are going forward, considering the fact that for 20 some odd, 30 some odd, I mean, my friend Good in season, she in her 50s. So for 40 years, you have had this level or this brand about you, and because something had you step out of character, now you should never be looked at the same. So if you're going to put yourself on social media, and it's something that I had to do, one of my personal experiences, like, I don't have nothing like you because I'm the one who came into the relationship with a child. And I came in with three of them. Okay, I came in with one, myself and three possibles. No, they was definite. You know what I'm saying? And my husband didn't have any kids, so we got Hunter together, right? Our first child is
Hmm.
us. But I remember when I decided, one of the reasons why I didn't want to do TV, or I didn't want to explore becoming, a social media influencer, or come out and have the reach that I have now was
Mm-hmm.
because my first marriage was very, very hard because of bad choices that I made, because
Mm-hmm.
of choices he made. In the divorce, I found out things that he was saying that weren't true, that he was fully aware of, but you know, perspective of what he did not tell people. And again, I like, you know, I'm going to take ownership. There was a lot that I lied about too, but I found out during the divorce how much this person was lying and how much he did not tell the people in his family. And I remember like making a post about my truth, like my divorce. I wasn't bashing him
Mm-hmm.
at that time. Like nobody even knew if I had gotten married and divorced. You know what I'm saying? But his
Mm-hmm.
family, one of his family members saw the post and she was like, "You're a liar, you're a whore." Like when I say she said all the words, okay, she called me everything but beloved on that message. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't move forward because what if this happens?
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for my husband because my husband said something that was very, very pivotal to me as a person. And I saw it the other day. I saw it the other day when I was searching on like I was scrolling on something on social media and
Mm-hmm.
someone made the comment that really resonated with me. Look around, and the people that you are friends with right now, the people who are in your inner circle right now, they may not even be there in 1 year,
Yeah.
in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not doing, or you are doing things for the benefit of these people who may not even be your people in 5 years from now.
So
So
true.
when you're maneuvering, you have to be really, really careful about doing what it is that you need to do in the benefit of yourself. In the
Right.
sense of, can you live with this decision 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that you're choosing to move and make and all of that? And I remember going through my divorce, and one of the biggest things, like, I don't want certain things to come out. I didn't want people to say certain things. I wanted to like
Mm-hmm.
control, like I wanted to be in control of this narrative because I stayed in the marriage to control a narrative. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. I knew he wasn't happy, but I was too afraid of what people were going to say if
Mm-hmm.
I walked away.
Yeah.
And I had to get to a place where I'm sitting in this relationship and I'm losing my mind. I ended up finding out that I had cancer. I ended up finding out, all of these
Mm-hmm.
things. Like, my mom had died. I was dealing with my mommy issues. I was dealing with the fact that every single thing that ever hit me while I was in this marriage, I was facing it by myself. So if I stay another 10 years in this same situation, I have to be okay that I'm going to be facing things by myself, but required to show up for my partner in a way that
Yeah.
he cannot and will not show up for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then having to deal with, I lost everyone during that relationship. And I can
Mm-hmm.
only picture business owners who get a scandal about a relationship. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to lie to y'all. The number one thing that can make y'all relationship bad is a bad woman or a bad man. Okay.
Yeah.
The minute somebody says something that they saw boo 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 over here, or he done DM this person over there, you gonna be embarrassed and you feel like you gonna die. You ain't gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna die. You're not gonna be hurt. You're not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? You're not,
Yeah.
life is not going to end because it didn't start with that person. Life
Yeah.
was here before that person came here. But I
So
do
true.
think that getting a village is going to be necessary
Definitely.
while you're being grounded, right? And if you don't
So
have
true.
that village, create that village so that you can pivot on the other side.
Well,
Now,
and I think, yeah, I think, that is a very good point. And a lot of times that village is created through authentic
mm,
truth, so, I was able to have a strong foundation in my story because, the only person I really valued knowing was my mom. And the fact that she knew, she might not have been happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I told her because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want her to think that I was blindsided. But I think, somebody is going to always have an opinion. It's either going to be
Mm-hmm.
for you or against you. And as long as you know where you stand, that's what's most important, because you're going to attract the right people uh, for you. And I think it's also important to understand the narrative. That's one of the things that I enjoy about even what drew me to TV was the fact that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I went through 13 years of depression. I was hospitalized 3 times. I was away from my kids for anywhere from 7 to 10 days with each hospitalization. But everybody had a different story about that. And I had to learn to embrace my own story. Hey, I'm telling my story. I don't have nobody editing it, trying to tell me what needs to be in and what needs to be out. I can tell my own version. And when you get comfortable with that, because it is some good, bad, ugly parts to everything that we experience. But when we learn to still love ourselves in spite of that, there's a strength about that. And so, like, when we have a lot of these celebrities that go through the highs and lows, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that is because you begin to seek the validation. And I'm glad that I learned that early, where you seek the validation of other people, that you don't really have that foundation. So it
Mm-hmm.
feel like not only are you in the story, but nobody is an ally for you because you hadn't come to terms with whatever the truth is about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all are going to make mistakes. And I'm like, hey, I feel like nobody can put me down about anything that I experience because ain't nobody not have a story. We all have
Mm-hmm.
a story. So what we're willing to share, like I agree with what Zandra said earlier, there's certain things that you keep private because people can start to tell their own narrative. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's the power of television or podcasting or any stage that you're on, is that you get to control that narrative. I've been on national TV, I've been on local news, but I don't know what they're going to end up editing the piece to say.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm
Talk
saying?
about it.
You there
Because
for
you
30
don't have
minutes.
any control of the edit
You don't have
floor.
no control of that, so, and I think when you understand that everybody can have a different narrative, just being clear with who you are and what you stand for, I think that's what's important, and that's why I challenge people to think about being on TV or being on podcasts. And a lot of people come from dark stories, whether it's toxic or domestic violence, and they don't want their spouse or somebody seen in a certain way. But the truth
Mm-hmm.
is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the more that we are able to be transparent about these stories, love doesn't have to come with people doing things perfectly.
Come on.
Love comes with who somebody is. We're going to make bad choices. We can't take those back once they're already done sometimes. So, but at the end of the day, how are we going to move on from here? What
Mm-hmm.
is going to be our approach with that? And being realistic around that and talking to your kids, because I look at some of my daughters and why they're not married during that time of depression. They never saw their dad as doing anything wrong. I internalize a lot of arguments or certain things because he was always working. And what I was thinking that I was doing to help has really got them to where they're like, hey, no, they argue. My dad didn't do that. You see what I'm saying? So it can come back later
Oh.
on where they're looking for Mr. Perfect, and Mr. Perfect is just not
Don't
out.
exist.
Yeah.
Don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so powerful because and I'm gonna say as a daddy's girl, shout out to my stepdad. Hey Gordon. I remember that like even to this day, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a grown woman, and to this day, like I have to check myself sometimes because I do that. Like I will still
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, my mom was crazy. And now I realize like my dad was a little bit crazy too. Like they was together for over 24 years. He was not sane if he was like He is not. He is a problem too. You know what I mean? But
It's
we don't. I mean, as and to your point, I do think that a lot of times we do fantasize about the way that we see our fathers and the way that we
Mhm,
see the men in our lives, because we do go, because I'm gonna be honest, the first person I married, I did marry him because he was very much like my dad.
mhm,
um and in the conversation that I was having, I was like, oh, I like these parts of my dad, so I was looking
mhm,
for those things, and it basically discrediting the flaws that the person had and the flaws that I was bringing to the table as well, that like this ain't an alignment, friend. You ain't gonna be healthy over here. He ain't gonna be healthy, you ain't gonna be healthy. But we really don't get to move. So I think I've been looking at social media, and a lot of the feedback that they've given Meg is like, don't bring your relationship to the public. Just focus on the hot girl summer going forward. There's a
mhm,
lot of those things, but I just want to challenge that as we're going through. I love what you say about like being okay with what you're sending, because I'm quite sure she was okay with sharing the relationship because she thought the relationship was a good relationship. And I
mhm,
really think I love the way that Zandra came into play with saying, I love the way that Zandra came into play and saying, I don't believe there was a strategy behind this at all. I
right,
believe they got into it and it broke up. And it's like, dang, that's even like, is it worse or is it better? Like,
right.
it's kind of like it's a catch 22. Hey, Joanna. Joanna is back with us today. So sorry guys for the Instagram family. Jason, Mahisha, I think that's how you say it. Jay, Lotto Tickets, Chrissy, Credit Lady C. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
Yeah, yes, it's Joanna. I love her. We had a whole raw about the Clay time. Girl, don't fight me. My husband is not here today, and I'm wearing my good church wig. Okay, don't fight me on today. Thank
You
you.
are too much.
But thank you for coming in. But I would challenge like businesses. There's going to be a highs and lows, relationships, and it doesn't have to
Mhm,
be. A lot of people think about relationships being disheveled from the standpoint um of boyfriend and girlfriend, but there's been
mhm,
a lot of breakups that have been in social media that are not boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're still just as intimate. And I want us
mhm,
to not think that the narrative is simply that you just have to recover and figure out how to rebrand when it's a
mhm.
relationship, because another relationship that actually ended is Drew Sidora. Again, I know you
Mhm.
don't know, just I'm gonna tell you the backstory. Okay, you came here with your cup. I'm pouring the tea in there. Okay, and then you gonna tell us how we gonna pivot on the other side. Okay, I got it. I'm pouring. Okay, so Juicidora is an actress. I know Juicidora from the TV show The Game.
Okay.
She was on the show The Game,
Mhm.
and she's now a Tubi. I love her acting on Tubi because she actually be acting. She be acting.
Now, is that the
Okay.
one with was Pooch all on that?
Yeah, Pooch Hall was
We
on The
met him
Game.
before. We
Uh-huh.
met
That was her
him.
baby daddy. I think, well, I
Yeah,
don't know if
we
that was
met
her baby
him.
daddy.
The kids and I met him at one
Oh,
of
I
the
love I love
events.
him.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm very biased ever since I saw the pilot for the show The Game. The guy who
Mhm.
plays on Alex Cross was the original character, Derwin.
Oh.
He was there before Pooch, so they decided to lighten up the character. I don't know what his situation was, okay, but that man that plays Alex Cross, thank you for blessing my TV screen. I love my husband, but I love watching you. Okay, just
Okay.
keep coming back. Okay, um, so he was the original Derwin, but Pooch Hall took
Okay.
over and he carried the full show, and so she's on Tubi. She has acted. I think she's acted in a couple of shows with Pooch after that as well on
Okay.
Tubi. She was in Candy's. Candy had a couple of she's done a couple of productions. She was in one of
Okay.
them. I liked when she played. She got played though at the end, but it's all right, Drew. This and it was a
Mhm.
character. And she's
Mhm.
a singer as well, and of course she's
Okay.
an Atlanta Housewife star. And recently she got a breakup with her social media manager, And it was
Oh.
because she said online that she was not the one who posted a comment, and it was someone on her social media team. And the social media manager was like, you need to go back and clear that up. Like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you need to go ahead and clear that up.
Mm.
And she didn't clear it up. So needless to say, he took, took account and said, I'm gonna clear it up. I'm gonna go ahead and clear it up for everybody. So everybody gonna have to act right. Okay. At the end of
Okay.
this.
Okay.
And because of that, he has gone on Tasha K. He's talked about the relationship and kind of what's happened. And fast forward, we are now dealing with the aftermath of people talking about her finances and people talking about this. So when we talk about
Mm.
breaking up or having to deal with repairing how people see
Mhm.
you on the back end, or it's going to happen no matter what
No matter
dynamic
what.
of relationship you have. and
Mhm.
and I love the fact that you're saying your brand has to be strong enough, but you as a person have to be strong enough to take that hit and know that you're not all of the things that people are saying
Exactly.
while you're
Yeah.
going through it.
Well, and I think also, you'll find that when you have situations, even when people who might have been doing a lot of things with you, with your band, you collaborated on stuff and then you separate and go your different ways. I just had this happen with we were doing this March campaign, and I'm connected with a gentleman who has his own community.
Mhm.
And although people don't see us outwardly doing a lot of things together, or we hadn't been over like a year or so, we still communicated behind the scenes. So
Mhm.
we get together and we do this event. And so, people go through, I've been here the whole time. And then she just comes out of nowhere and they're collaborating. People are going to say things.
Right.
And I think, when you know that you don't have to please anybody and you understand why you're doing what you're doing,
Mhm.
it just has a way of things getting silenced because
Mhm.
you know that everything that people may say, you don't have to respond. You
Mm.
can just keep it moving. And I think that's one of the things that's really important to recognize is that everybody is going to have an opinion about how they feel you should be doing it with the information that they see. They're not
Mhm.
always privy to everything that goes on behind the scenes. I watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. And I really got a lot out of this series that he did because one thing that really stood out about his whole career is that he understood the role that he ended up playing. He
Mhm.
thought that, yeah, I'm coming here to play basketball, but he understood that it became a movement. People
Mm.
were wanting to see him perform, and that took a different level.
Yeah.
And so that really helped him to be disciplined and turn off a lot of things, that normally would have bothered him. He had this one scene where he said they were in some playoffs or something, and he went out to eat and saw the coach from the other team and wanted to speak to him. The guy didn't speak to him. And so he was like, "Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll handle this on the court." And
What
he just had that kind of air about him.
energy?
And
Yeah.
they beat the brakes off of the other team. And he was like, he refused for all the work that he was putting in for people not to acknowledge him for the sacrifices that he had to make and the things that he was doing. And one thing about him was, he wasn't afraid of the hard work. He just was going to do it. So that just really helped me to understand that, when you understand that you are doing whatever you're doing, people look at you differently. And
Mhm.
whether you want to say that you're human or all this other stuff, you need to know who you are and what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be in those situations where they're going to expect more out of you. Like if you talk about the Will Smith thing, I feel like, he didn't have the right people in his camp,
No.
or whatever the case is. Sometimes you can alienate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you do get to a certain level where you're wondering who's for me, who's against me. But then you end up with a lot of people who are around you maybe for the money, and they don't really have an opinion or have a backbone about certain
To say
things. So
something.
I
Yeah.
think it's important, to kind of think about that, because I feel like one of my things is I want to be the same all the time.
Come on.
So, hey, I don't care.
Because
You
I
see
went
me
from
with a
being
bonnet
100 in
on.
to a
You
1,000 in, and we
I'm
still the
saying,
same.
whether I have on tennis shoes or flip flops or whatever,
Come
I feel
on.
like I should be the same, and so
Absolutely.
that being intentional about that has really helped me with my brand because whether I have a bad hair day, earrings, no earrings, makeup, no makeup, glasses, contacts, I mean, I just think, when you get to the point of being comfortable with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes you more attractive because there is going to always be a different spin on something that you're doing. And I think it's important for you to be flexible enough to be able to pivot, in real time with whatever comes towards you.
I like that. So we're gonna take a quick shift and we're gonna talk
Mhm.
about because we're about to wrap this up because I know she got 15 kids. She done told y'all, okay? And I'm number 16 because I'm over here, so I gotta act right. Okay. So we're gonna take a quick shift. So I'm gonna talk about some really good marketing strategies that I've seen after a breakup. The
Mhm.
number one marketing strategy that I've seen about taking a breakup and literally realigning it and repurposing it is Candy and Todd Tucker. Candy decided she is going to get her one woman show on. She did, I do, I'm done. Okay. And she went and she is touring. And what I really like is that no one really know. I mean, again, it's speculated for cheating. I think what's so
Mhm.
interesting as a person who has I've been in the credit repair industry for 21 years now, right? The
Mhm.
number one reason that I've seen people separate has been because of finances.
Mhm.
Because normally back in the day, people stayed if you cheated, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay, you got Brenda,
Mhm.
you got another baby. I don't care. We still gonna go together real bad. But now that life, is becoming and things are getting, women are making more money, they're more independent. That cheating thing is getting them suckers right up out of there. Okay.
Mhm.
But she has not told her story. She hasn't gone to like a publication and kind of blog. She hasn't gone to really tell the deets. And their relationship was
Mhm.
non-traditional anyway, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I do think that that marketing play is really, really good. And some people
Mhm.
can still market that way. What is another spin that a person can put after something like that happens?
I
What would you?
think for me, I think it's humility. When I think back to, when I got to the point where I stopped trying to hide that I went through depression, and
Oh,
I embraced it, then it brought me more strength because more people came forward to talk about their depression. And,
wow.
for me, just being in marketing, I always was taught through school that, it's about being the stronger person,
Yes.
beating out your competitor, not showing weakness. So that was a really hard transition for me to make, but it really elevated my brand and gave
Mhm.
me clarity around what I'm doing because I realized that nobody could tell that story like me. Nobody could understand what I went
Um,
through. And although I didn't really embrace telling it in the beginning, the more I started talking about it, I was like, wow, other people are going through the same thing, or, they're being trapped in situations that, if you just twist a little bit over here to the left, you can change this whole narrative and it can really be a superpower. So
mhm.
I think when people are willing to admit, what, I was down, I was grief stricken, or whatever happened, or I made some wrong decisions, people want to hear from that because
Right,
when you are able to say that with strength, it makes you more inspiring, and
right,
people want to know, okay, well, what were the do's and don'ts? Tell me what I don't need to be doing. You got a book
right,
right there, you have a class, you got all this stuff that can happen because you're willing to talk about the truth or your truth And people can resonate if it's the truth or not. I mean, I think we all know if somebody is trying to tell us a lie, it
Mhm.
comes through with what they're saying. So, and that really gives you strength because you're not trying to prove yourself or be something to everybody. You're just trying to talk about your experience, and that really can attract people to you as well. So I think being humble, talking about what you feel you wanted to cover up, and exposing it in a way that gives you strength, because nobody can tell that story like you. I remember early in my coaching, what really helped to transform that was that a gentleman said, you can really start growing and being the best coach and everybody like you, and they'll put you on a pedestal. He said, but the way to really be successful is to choose for yourself to get down off the pedestal. Because if you stay up there, people will try to knock you down.
Down. Come on. And you have to be a
So,
real person. I
yeah.
love that. I
Hmm.
mean, life is going to happen, guys. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie to you. I think the number one thing that I've learned in marketing is, number one, y'all don't got to love me as long as I love me. That's number one.
Right.
I've learned, like, I'm learning to re-love who I am as a person.
Hmm.
And what I love is the man that I chose to be with is learning to love the new me that I get to explore, and I find who I am every single day. I think that that's
Hmm.
amazing for me. And my kids are learning who I am now because I'm not mom anymore. Not that I'm never mom,
Hmm.
but now I'm like, I've always raised my kids to understand, like, I'm a woman that be making mistakes. I'm figuring it out. Okay. I
Hmm.
just happen to have hit my toe, 13 years before you hit your toe. So I can tell you, don't go down there because you're gonna hit your toe. But I also have
Exactly.
to be in a space of understanding that your silliness might decide to go down there and hit
Yeah,
your toe. And I have to be okay with it, because my
it's
mother
true.
had to sit and deal with me making the women in my village had to sit and
Hmm.
Raquel, don't go there, and I'll be like, nah, that ain't gonna happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those things
Yeah.
happen. And just understand that when you are going through branding and business and life is going to happen, and you can either choose to hide from the story, or you can choose to take that story that you have and then connect with your core audience that has been
Hmm.
rooting for you, who understands that, because you might end up getting new people that follow you and purchase from you because they now see relatability and connection in who you are. And in the past, it was like you could see someone 7 to 10 times and then they purchase from you. It's actually more like 16 to 20 times now.
Yeah.
So you being able to leverage this conversation and maybe turn it into a series, right? If it's
Hmm.
something that you're comfortable with. Some people produce that stuff, or like do it and don't put it out until they're fully healed, right? And that's
Hmm.
okay for you to do. But I just want you guys to know, just because a breakup to makeup happened doesn't mean that your life is over, doesn't mean that your brand is over. You're still going to be dynamically who you are. So with that being said,
Hmm.
we're gonna let Mom Lachelle go to where she needs to go. But can you tell everybody where they can find you? I'm gonna
Yeah,
showcase your
you guys can Google me actually, but you can find me on LinkedIn. But one thing that I would say about that too also is understanding that you really have the power of your story. And a lot of times we take that for granted. We can't
Mhm.
be all things to all people, but understanding where you want to go next and remembering the journey that you want other people to take with you on that. And understanding that you're not going to be for everybody, and just be okay with that. I think we are taught too much about mass marketing, where, it's about the viewership or going viral, and so we believe that all is how it has to be. But, really be okay with getting the right people to support you, because, the journey is going to go with twists and turns, ups and downs, all kinds of things, just with your life, the life of your kids, and different things like that. And so, really trying to be perfect can really be set you up for a lot of disappointments, because there are going to be things that happen. And I feel like I could write a book just on things that my kids do or have
We'll
done,
read it.
and so I feel like um I am going on a show next week, and I don't care what my kids do. I don't feel like what they do determines how I show up, because I
Right.
used to be that way. I'd just be like, "Oh my gosh, they didn't pass this class," or "This one got in a fight," or "This one did this." And I used to be
Mm.
like, "Oh my gosh, that's gonna what am I looking like as a mom or whatever?" My husband's in the ministry. He's a minister. What do we look like with this happening? And I just said, my kids, I love them, and they're going to live their own life. They're going to make their own mistakes,
Mistakes.
and
Yep.
they have to be aware of when enough is enough for them. But I'm going to love them anyway. That's my job as a parent. So, hey, they're going to do crazy stuff. So I feel like nothing that somebody asks me, I should be ashamed about, with my kids just learning and going through life themselves, because they got their
Yeah.
own accountability. So I feel like, when you are going forward, whether it's with your business, your brand, or whatever, again, it starts from you setting the foundation, how you're going to show up. And then that's
Mhm.
going to have a ripple effect to the right people that are attracted to you, as well as how you continue to show up during the midst of chaos, good times and bad times. So thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed the
Thank
conversation.
you for coming. So, if y'all don't know, we are on Zandra TV Network together. You can
Mhm.
actually watch our show. Her show is Real Life Without Excuses. As you can tell, she don't play no games in these streets when it comes to excuses. Okay. And as always, y'all, if y'all are looking for financial support, want to tell your story, want to go ahead and hear about real entrepreneurs that have gone through some things, okay, you want to go ahead and come on and watch my show, Breaking Barriers. The link is on the screen. We will also have this in the description box so that you can support both of our shows.
Mhm.
And if you want to reach out to either one of us, I will drop that information in the captions as well, so you guys can make sure that you feel supported. But long story short, I want y'all to know y'all are great. It's going to be amazing. We'll be back with more hot topics next month. So if this was entertaining to you, if it wasn't, I don't care. Go ahead and dislike it if it wasn't, okay? If it was entertaining, like it up, because at the end of the day, engagement counts, because while we are in a social community. Okay, so commune
Yes.
with me. Don't just come and see me with my good hair and you don't say nothing. Okay, figure out. And if you like this unit, say that you like it so I can drop the link so you can get it. Okay.
It's
Now,
true.
but thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate you guys listening to us chit chat. And we will see you guys next month with more hot topic news. Later.
Bye, y'all.